today.
Within 30 seconds, we could feel the bomb.
The doctor saving lives in a deadly place.
I've operated on over 10,000 children in a country where that could not happen.
You are preparing a country to be able to take care of its own children.
When you fix a child's heart in a country where that could not happen, there's nothing that will replace the look on the parents' eyes when you come out and talk to them and tell them, your child survived. Your child's going to be fine now.
That's coming up.
Every year, about 300,000 babies die from congenital heart disease due to a lack of treatment in the countries where they were born. Pediatric cardiac surgeon Dr. William Novick has made it his mission to save their lives.
When you fix a child's heart in a country where that could not happen, there's nothing that will replace the look on the parents' eyes when you come out and talk to them and tell them, your child survived, your child's going to be fine now. That look is the look that keeps driving me back. The Novick Cardiac Alliance was founded in November of 2014. I'm very proud of the fact that as far as the care of children with heart disease, I have very few deficits. Clearly it's a TGA VSD. The other thing that you look for is you look to make sure that there's no fibrous ridge on the VSD. Now, part of that could be the fact that I've operated on over 10,000 children. This is not a brag, this is just a fact. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That looks perfect. My style of leadership, I am a hard charger. Up, up, up. More. Never off. The vent will never, ever be turned off until the end of the case. I lead by example. Even though I'm now 65, there are very few people in this team that even outwork me today at this age. And they're all younger than me. Working in Libya provides its own special set of challenges. You're dealing with two governments, civil war, a revolution that occurred, and now ongoing conflict in the area around Tripoli. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You need to keep up with security personnel so that you know what's going on. I'm not going to wait a typical Libyan 5 days to get an answer. And be ready to move quickly if necessary. I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, and I know that conducting a pediatric cardiac surgical operation, you have to be able to multitask. There's no pediatric heart surgery in the country, and there are 500 children born annually with surgical heart disease, and a number of those children are going to die in the first month of life. And by the time they're 1 year old, 50% of those kids will have died. All of these children deserve an opportunity for life-saving cardiac surgery. You cannot expect for a country's children to become dependent upon your intermittent service trips. The warm and fuzzy is really fantastic, but if we don't leave behind an independently functioning operating team when we leave, then we really have failed the children of the future and the country in our mission.
Pediatric cardiac surgeon and the founder of the Novick Cardiac Alliance, Dr. William Novick, joins us today. And I know, Dr. Novick, that you don't do this in any way, shape, or form for personal praise, but I applaud you so very much for the work that you're doing.
Dr. Novick,
Thank you.
in all of our minds, you represent what is right with physicians and with medicine in general. You are truly a hero to us, and thank you for coming.
One of the things I love about the Novick Cardiac Alliance is you're teaching individuals in these countries how to take care of these babies. Can you highlight some of these dangerous situations your missions have gone into?
The one that really, I think, jumps out at everybody has to be the March 1999 trip to Belgrade, Yugoslavia. And you may recall that there was a little bit of a problem with the Yugoslavians and genocide in Kosovo at the time. We had a program that we were running in Yugoslavia at Belgrade at the Mother and Child Institute, a capacity building program. And there was a lot of concern about making this particular trip. But I looked at the situation. I said, well, the Serbs are coming to Paris for the peace talks on the Monday after we've arrived. Surely they'll be there a couple of weeks arguing, and we can do our work and get out of the country before anything happens. Wrong. We flew in, we operated the first week, and on Friday I get a call from the U.S. Embassy. We're evacuating. We would like to pick your team up on Saturday and take you up to Budapest. I said, I'm not sure my team wants to leave. What do you mean? You have to leave. There's imminent threat. All right, look, we'll hold a meeting tonight and give me a number that I can call back and tell you how many people you're going to be picking up tomorrow. This is crazy. I said, well, one of the reasons that we stayed is there were two children that at the time were a week old and had a very complex defect that the Serbians had never operated on successfully. And if we didn't operate on the kids, I knew they would die within a month. That's really the reason that we stayed. So we're operating on these two children on Wednesday. And we're listening to a Western-leaning radio station, and they start making little jokes like air raid signals on the show. And then they come on and go, we're only fooling. Well, we did the second case, and 15 minutes after sundown, those same noises came on, but they weren't coming from the radio. They were real. And within 30 seconds, we could feel the bombs falling. Literally, it's thunder, and it's a shake, and they get closer and closer until the windows start rattling and things start falling off the shelves. When that happened, I looked up and I said to my Serbian colleagues, I said, listen, my country's going to kill a lot of your countrymen tonight, but there's a child in front of us that is not going to die as a result of this bombing. We're going to finish this operation, and you guys can all leave the minute we come off bypass and go home. And they all looked up to the person and said, we're going to make sure the kid gets to the ICU, then we'll go home.
What drives you, and how do you pull off these trips that logistically and, quite frankly, from a safety perspective, they're not exactly safe?
Well, we do a risk assessment. Sometimes we use professionals, and sometimes we use our people that are on the ground. We get the risk assessment, and we make the decision whether we're going to go or we're not going to go. We have been fortunate to have chosen wisely in most cases, not in all cases. Nobody's ever been injured. Nobody's ever been kidnapped or captured or anything like that. But we've had a few close calls where, you know, troops had to be called over a road so they could get us out of town to another airport. Whenever we go into a country where bad things happen, we do have a plan with the Ministry of the Interior on how to get us out. And you got to keep up with the news constantly.
And you know it's remarkable listening to all of your stories, and I just want everyone to realize that these logistical problems are not nearly as difficult as some of these surgeries that you and your team are performing. And I think that that's what's so special about this. And you think about heart surgery in an adult, then you think about heart surgery on an infant with congenital heart defects. And not only the breadth of the surgeries you all perform, but I really thank you for all of that work. I could talk to you right now for 10 hours because I can just tell you have so many stories because you put yourself on the line so many times. Thank you for that commitment. Thank you for that dedication.
Thank you.
Dr. Novick, we have a surprise for you. An anonymous donor is donating $10,000 to the Novick Cardiac Alliance.
Wow.
Also, your friend Sarah has something she'd like to say to you.
So I had childhood heart disease, and thankfully I had access to care when I needed it, and I don't take that for granted. So today my husband and I would like to match the first $100,000 of donations that come into your foundation from this show in support of your stunning humanitarianism.
That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic, Sarah. You and Sean have been really good supporters over the years, and this is a big jump in support. And hopefully, we can find some people that'll match that $100,000.
Yeah. Well, and Sarah, thank you for that. And you know, I also just want to highlight that you're a shining, living example of when a child gets the surgery they need, they can go on to live a full, happy, wonderful life. And Dr. Novick, you're providing this for so many kids who would otherwise not have that opportunity. I would just urge everyone out there to also donate. You can find out about more information on how you can donate to the Novick Cardiac Alliance by visiting our website, thedoctorstv.com. And just remember, any amount you give will be doubled. No amount is too small. Sarah, thank you. But Dr. Novick, more than anything, keep up the great work. And best to you and your entire team.